Welcome, everybody, to Shabbat. Thank you, Mauricio, for that message. It touched a lot of hearts. I know from I sent it out to a couple of my friends actually before we started, and they were very, very touched by it. Um, One of the things that I had learned differently was that God did not forgive premeditated sins. And yet here, that's exactly what you were speaking about, how but I guess he forgives them when we do teshuvah. Even if we had done it on purpose, we still have to um, uh, we still have to pay for the consequences of our behavior. You've done something that you've premeditated, you've robbed a bank or you've murdered someone, you pay the consequences of it. But if you go to God and you really with a broken heart, because that's what he wants from us, is a contrite heart. And let me tell you, life has a way of breaking us, that's for sure. And for those who follow God and those who really want to know his word. It was a beautiful message. I recommend that for those when I send it out by email, that listen to it again, read it, and listen to the words again because it's pretty powerful. Do we have any comments? I guess Mauricio went away. I'm sure there are some things that he would want to expand upon. But Miriam, anybody here who usually makes a comment?
I could only comment on what I heard. My ears still haven't popped. I heard enough to, I'm going to listen to it again when
I
my
sent it
ears
to
are
you
better.
by mail.
But I know it was a message of hope and really so special. Like as you say, and Mauricio, thank you. You said again that God knows our heart, and that's when we have a heart to be close to God. And we make teshuvah and return to God. That's the miracle and beauty of walking with God.
Yeah.
And there are consequences, as you say, and then there are people who don't return to God, and that's a different story. But I'm sorry, I will listen again when my ears are better.
Well, I sent it to you, Miriam.
Sorry, what?
I had sent it to you by email so that you could read it through before.
Yes, okay, yeah, I would like that.
I did. I sent
Oh,
it to you
okay,
last
sorry.
week.
Oh, you mean while he was speaking?
No, I sent it before a couple of days ago so that you could read it in advance and you could have it.
Okay. Yes, okay. I still have it then. I'm all right. But I'm going to read and listen to it again.
Because I know the full message can't always come across clearly because of the accent and the some of the way the words are read, which is why it's so important to read it because it really is. He puts a lot into these messages, and it's really, even this morning, I was faced with something really in my own family, and one of the things I haven't, you know forgiveness is like peeling an onion. We think we've forgiven ourselves for something, and then something comes up, and immediately we're reminded of the thing that we did, and it hits us again. But we have to continue to remember and I think they come up because really God wants us to be humble. Sometimes we become very judgmental of others, and that's something that I can see in me. I do it this way. Why aren't they doing it? Don't they see how much better their lives would be if only they did this? But sometimes they just can't, or they're just not ready. And we may be allowed to see something first, and we really do have to have these qualities that he spoke about today, of God, and how important there are to remember them. When he talks about God is a God of compassion, from what was it from Exodus 34. God is gracious and compassionate. He's long suffering, not like us. I know sometimes my daughter complains about something over and over and over, and she calls me and she just keeps complaining and complaining about the same thing over and over. And let me tell you, my long suffering is long gone, because if I have a problem, I deal with it. I want to handle it. I don't sit and complain about it. It's just the character that God has given me. But there's those who just have trouble with that. And so I have to remember God is long suffering, and I have to pray. And if I pray to be long suffering, let me tell you, He's going to send in situations into my life that make me learn long suffering, because I am not. It says slow to anger. I think that is something I am slow. I don't get angry very quickly. Thank God for that. But I have a lot of other things. Abundant in mercy. How important is it for us to be abundant in mercy and in truth? And how do we know truth? By reading His Torah, reading His commandments, extending kindness, chesed, rachamim, to the 1,000th generation of those who love Him. But that thing, forgiving premeditated sins and sins done in a rebellious nature and even unintentional sins, and He still absolves us. That is absolutely incredible to think that. Mauricio, I thought I had learned that God does not forgive premeditated sins, but He does when we turn back to Him, when we do teshuvah. We still suffer the consequences, but that was a good message. Do you have something you'd like to add?
I would like to add something because um, this portion happens after the sin of the golden calf.
Right.
Okay. So this is something very precious from God because uh, he well, usually we as human, if we go to the court, for example, what does a judge usually present to all the persons inside the room? He starts to show what happened,
He
the
presents the facts.
scene, the fact. Okay.
Right.
And they then start to usually to present the proofs, what happened, the evidence. Okay. And he starts to show that person is guilty. Okay. And obviously the persons, every time they show the sin or the mistake, then he started to make lower, and finally he disappeared and he become guilty. Okay, and that very same things, probably we are not judges at all, but in our homes, in our jobs, we do the same. You don't know how many people at the, for example, at the company tries to show how you fail, and they are like a fiscals, just trying to show everyone, oh, he made this and this, and erase everything else. Okay.
Right.
There are other persons, for example, in our family, for example, an aunt or an uncle, who always tries to say, you are not better because you did this and you did that, and remember everything bad. Okay. And the point is, usually when you have conscience, when you are still moral, as Rabbi used to say, you know your problem, you recognize your problem, and usually the persons who has already morality inside, this kind of persons feel shame, feel guilty, and and honestly, they don't need that you every day remember them what they did. Okay, because that is exactly what God is doing. okay, there are two portions right now that God is trying to exalt or to lift up Israel. Okay. How if we as humans try to write the Torah, we will put first the golden calf and then these two other portions. But God did not that. God started to show his mercy to see Israel a better nation and put the problem. So it's like when you are with a kid, for example, um, you start to tell them, okay, you are good, and you are a princess, you are a prince, you are a good person, but you made this mistake. Okay, so it's completely different. Okay, instead to start to say, oh, you did this and you are this and you are blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that is completely different of how humans used to think. Okay, so God right now is like putting the medicine to the sickness to this. So right now, and that is so important because when you take the whole parish, the portion, and you start to look from far, okay, then you start to see many things. First, God does not need to count Israel. Okay, Tissa means you will take, okay, the census. Okay, so to whom is talking God? To Moses. Okay, Moses, you will take the census. Okay, why? Because God already knows who we are. He knows every one of us. But now God is that all the persons who are still alive, okay, uh, feel Israel because, as I mentioned in this, honestly, I took this not from me, but I remember there were someone in the company. Okay, we were in a Christmas dinner. Okay, in a company at, I don't know, probably around 10 or 12 years ago. Okay, and this person, um, he likes to,
Drink.
make jokes
Oh,
but he's not really drunker. He is very nice person. Uh, but the point that at that night, I remember he started to drink a little bit more. Okay, so after he drank a little bit more, he uh, he finished that day in the corner with another guy who is the president of the coffee association in El Salvador. They were at the corner, literally. Okay, both what like, I love you, man. I love you too. Okay, can you imagine that? So, in that was embarrassment completely. So the next day, that was on Friday, I think, and then when come Monday, that person was so ashamed. Okay, it's like trying to hide because someone else had to call his wife, hey, please pick up this guy, he's drunk enough. Okay, so she had to go to the party to look his husband, her husband, at the corner, hug with another man, talking like they were brothers, whatever. And they did not recognize them. selves. Okay.
Wow.
So when this person come to the Monday, he's under me. Okay. So in obviously next day my boss called me and told me, Mauricio, I know you leave us very early because I usually go to the dinner to say hello to everyone and then hey, thank you for all your efforts, and that's more politician, and but I don't like to stay too late. Okay, I just dinner and then bye bye. Okay, so I leave early, and I didn't know that. After the next day, my boss called me and told me, "Oh, this person made this mistake." Okay, so I felt honestly embarrassment, like, oh no, what this man did. Okay, but um, in always is in my mind what I told to this person. Okay. And this person came to my office because I told him, when you come, please come to my office. Okay. We need to talk.
Oh,
Obviously, I had to make caparat to this person because my boss was so angry and he wanted to you know to 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 say
fire
bye
him.
bye. Yeah, to fire him. But I said, no, no, no. Hey, this man has helped us too many years. He's a very good person. Uh, that mistake is something that happened just once. Okay. He's not like that. I don't know what happened. Probably were some changes in his hormones, or I don't know, but something happened to him. Um, so I remember that person come to my office. He was so ashamed. His face, honestly, was like depression. Okay. He was so sad. He just entered the shoulders down and like bowing, okay, walking, like a deaf person. I don't know how that deaf works, but in the movies you can see them. Okay, so uh, after I saw him, I asked him to sit, and I start remember who he was. Okay, I said, you know, you are a very good employee. You are a very good person. You are a very good father. You are a very good son, because I knew he helped his father. But what you did is not a reflection of what you are. And you made a mistake, honestly. And you don't need to give me explanation about that, because the point is that you commit the mistake. Okay. Now, what would you do in next time? Okay. How do you repair your mistake? Okay. How do you feel about it? And I just want that you lift yourself up and keep going. Okay. So and I remember how this person, after that conversation, becomes a better person, becomes uh he didn't made that mistake again. Okay, his behavior improves, and above all, he could recognize what he did and ask pardon to my bosses and board of directors. So the point is that something similar happened in this portion. God could face uh, Israel to say, "Oh, what I chose you, You are not better than Canaan. You are idolaters. You are you have gods, and you just recently said, "Oh, we will do. We will hear, and we will do." And look at you right now. So you are unfaithful. You broke the 10 Commandments in one night. Okay. So instead to do that, God is like preparing a field to Israel to make them grow. Okay. Because this is exactly what is humanity. We will make mistakes continually. No matter how your levels of spirituality are, to make mistakes
Every
continually,
day. Every day.
every day, every moment. So, but that doesn't define you, your mistakes. Is what you are.
What you do with them also after, how you make it
What,
better.
so when you have the capacity to make the teshuvah, okay, yes, probably you could have consequences. That is obviously, but it's better to have consequences under the shadow of God that that you are alone. Okay. So and then uh, the first thing God did is just to count them. Okay. Okay, you will count yourself that you, okay, probably he who was with, I don't know, worshiping the calf, you you are giving to the sanctuary half shekel, and you Levite that you right now are better supposedly than the idolater, you will give also one half of the shekel
Ah,
sanctuary. So you both at the same time,
right.
you have the same value before God. Okay,
Wow.
one. So the Levite doesn't feel better. I
Right.
am than he. And the other one who felt I'm not longer Israel feels part of Israel.
Mm.
So that is more than just count everybody.
That was the teaching of Rabbi Yeshua.
Yeah.
Mm.
So in that's also interesting that God is not counting people. They were counting shekels. Okay.
Mm.
So that is to do not give a value of money, monetary value to the persons.
Mm.
Today, we have this problem in the world. If you have to repair someone, you say, "Oh, your hand cost around this quantity of money. Your arm is more than like this, and your eyes is so." That is for us, but before God, you don't have price. That is why God really, really, really hate, okay, slavery, because when you were to the trademark of slaves, honestly, that was so sad. You put price to a person, so that is not good. And then the second thing that God did is to fix his words, his commandments, because it says that Moses destroyed the tablets, and then he had to rewrite the tablets, but his hands. So can you imagine like hammering every table? So that is something that you need to work. And after that comes the portion that says that appear Aholiab and Bezalel, okay, and also the Ketoret. And the idea of the Ketoret is that is something that unites heaven and earth. okay, at the very same time. But that bond is not something that you can see, okay? It's something invisible, but it's strong, okay? Very strong. And also comes the abilities, the creativity, the capacity to work with your hands, with your mind, okay? And then also you restore the family because that actually have a little bit meaning, okay? And so everything is restoring, and at the end comes the words of God just to say, hey, okay, if there is any doubt with my actions that you are not longer Israel, I will tell you, okay? So I start to say the words, I am the one who loves you, who has compassion, who has goodness, who has mercy, who has hesed, um, who who is gracious to you. Okay, so that is just, it's not really, it's more than compliment. It's more than that try to exalt. No, he's trying just, like like I deal with this person. I try to emulate what is inside of him, what is his nature, to remember him that he's better than that. Okay. So, and now God is telling you, hey, don't worry. Because after you make a mistake so big, sometimes you are looking behind you in your back if there is someone who is still behind you trying to destroy you. Right now, God is just confirming you that He is good. So, and this is so important, For example, for me, it's very difficult to give words of affirmation, honestly. Why? Probably it's cultural, probably it's from my family, my dad and mom did not used to tell me, oh, Mauricio, you are so good, okay? But after reading this, I start to try to say a little, at least once in a day, one affirmation words to my kids.
But
Okay.
if I look at with God, he didn't say it to us. He behaved in that way. His actions showed who he was. Because I could say over and over and over to my kids what they are. But if I behave then afterwards in a way opposite to that, then all the words don't mean anything. I think in all these things, God is trying to show us we can trust him. He's got us covered. He has our backs. He's there for us. And he shows
Yeah,
it to us in so many ways.
but for example, in Latin America, I'm talking about my region. Okay, probably in your not. But here in El Salvador, for example, how the parents shows love. Okay, parents show love by giving them food, giving clothing, and giving needs, basics. Okay, education. But in our country, in El Salvador specifically, there is nothing like to say, "Hey, son, I'm happy because of your grade," or son, you play the piano very well. So there is nothing about that. It's like there is no real communication. Okay, talk to the heart of the person.
I
Okay,
was raised like that too. We were never told. We were told we never knew what we did right or wrong. And they didn't talk to us. Children were to be seen and not heard.
yeah.
But
So
oh,
that's
uh,
important to give to our kids. Okay, not only show love by actions, by facts, but also to let them know. And because sometimes I start to think, oh, they know they love, I love them. Okay, yeah, but tell them to. Okay, is just
I agree
not.
with you, Mauricio, because obviously you have to show love in action, but to me, we know that, you cook for the person, you hug them, whatever. But even like you always hear this for example, in counseling with a couple, and often more the wife, but not necessarily. The husband, he works for her, he does this, he does that, but he doesn't say the words. And he'll, like, even in Fiddler on the Roof, he says, well, I do this for you, I do that. But she goes, do you love me? Do you love me? You do need both. It's like when you tell your son you've done a good job, even though you cook for him, you hug him, he knows you love him, but to hear the words are very special as well. I think I'm shouting because I can't hear. Sorry.
Yeah, but it depends also on the families you were raised. Sometimes it just doesn't come naturally to do those things. And yes, we can try, but you could say it has to really come from the heart. And how often did God, if you look at it in the Torah, how often did God say to his people, I love you? He showed it in every single thing he does. I don't hear God telling me I love you. I see it
No,
in
but Peggy, even in the Psalms, when the Psalms are written, it says God is a God of mercy and love, and he loves you. So we do, it's not,
it's not
I
because he
think,
said it, it's because he's showing it.
no, it's both.
We don't,
Obviously, it's both.
yeah,
Peggy,
we
it's
don't
both.
all, yeah, but show me one place where God said to Israel, I love you.
Well, I've loved you with an
Yeah,
everlasting
I have to
heart. I don't
say
know.
I have, because I know what it says. I love you.
Okay, good. Tell me.
And okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right. Jeremiah 31:3 is, I
Yeah.
have loved you with an everlasting love.
Good.
You find this in Jeremiah 31 verse 3. When someone tells you, arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of Spirit has risen upon you, it's someone who loves you. Isaiah 60 verse 1. Or when he says, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This is Jeremiah 29:11. This is someone who loves us
Yeah.
unconditionally. And yeah, so I can tell you another one. Hold on. Just give me a second. The fact that he makes us as his image and likeness, that's the number one, because that's proves that as he created us and we are his children, we are part of him. We are his image and likeness. And when someone gives you life, life is the greatest gift, in my opinion, that anyone could ask for. And the greatest gift of living is the greatest, assistance is the greatest
Also,
love. And the only thing is that we have to choose and we have to do what is right, because also we find when God talks about like, just hold on just a second. He has told you, man, what is good, and what the Spirit, the Creator, requires of you, only to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God. Okay, so you can see that the expectations from the Spirit Creator is from us to act like him, to walk in justice, to apply mercy, and to live humbly. Also, we have there is another verse that we can find that actually just the last thing that I just said. It's in Micah 6:8.
You were going to say something, Mauricio?
And Proverbs, yeah, and also the same. It talks about Proverbs 21:3. Says to do what is right and just, it's more pleasing to the Creator than a sacrifice. So if you see all this parasha, you read it, then God is telling us not to focus on the little details, but to focus on doing what is right and just.
Yes. Yes.
And also,
but I guess I'm also looking at everything that God does for us, he does out of love, which is wonderful. But with humans, very often, it's very easy to say, I love you, but then you don't behave as if you do. The love has to be followed by action.
Yeah, but you know that the love of God is unconditionally. It's not our love.
Of course.
Because we have the tendency to love in different ways. And most of the time, for those that they are discovering what real true love is, for those that they haven't yet discovered what true love is, most of the time is about interest. It's about you loving because you have a gain back.
Yes, it's self-interest. Yes,
it's self-interest.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
Oh, I didn't have my camera on. I'm sorry. I just realized I was on. Hold on 1 second. There.
No, not yet. There you go. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I just realized all this time.
Yeah, I was speaking to a black box.
Yeah, kind of greenish.
Yeah, it's true. It's the lighting in the room. Well, that was wonderful. Mauricio, thank you. You had something else you wanted to add?
No, just Angel looked like a Martian. He was
But I'm not from Mars. I'm from Earth.
You're from Venus. Venus is green. Mars is red.
Venus, yeah.
No, but you know, when I was killed, probably you look at this. It's like a show, TV show. It was a Martian who called this.
Yes.
And he was green. Okay.
Green. That's
true. I
true.
confess, I'm from another planet. I'm not from here.
Which one are you from?
Far, very far.
Very far away. Okay. Well, come down to Earth, more, Angel. We need you here.
But I am on Earth right now. And yeah, and it's time for us to stand up and to rise and let the light of our Creator shine in our hearts.
Yes.
There has been a lot of years, humanity, under the darkness of not knowing,
Yeah.
being controlled.
I love that picture when Moses came down from the mountain and his whole face was shining. He had to put a veil on. He had light coming out of his head. May we all shine like that. Arise and shine and let the glory of the Lord shine upon you. That's a beautiful message. And sometimes we do and we don't even know it. God is shining through us. You can't create that. You have to live it. You have to open yourself up through humility and through his graciousness. So thank you, Mauricio, for your message. Thank you, Angel, for your input. And thank God for his love. And may we all love each other. I love you, Mauricio. I love you, Angel. I love you, Baruch. I love you, Miriam. I love you, Sarai.
I love you.
I love you.
Love you.
Guys,
I love you, everyone.
I wanted to add this last important message. Okay, it says that, but this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Creator never ceases. His mercy never come to an end. They are anew every morning. Great is your faithfulness.
Amen. That's wonderful. I love you, Rhonda.
Yeah, I love you too. Ay, sí.
I
A
love you,
todos,
Alvarado, Isabel, everybody.
A todos los quiero.
Ah, sí.
Arise and shine. We have a
Rise and
beautiful
shine.
sun.
Arise and shine.
You, my
Yeah.
family.
What is happening?
I
What did
love you.
Hi, Karen. Say hello.
Yeah, this is in the south and states. They are, having these storms,
I know. I know.
and this sun is beautiful. Do you see the moon there the other day and last night?
I saw it on Facebook
The
from
blood
Karen.
moon. It was a two something. Karen woke up in the middle of the night.
Yo quería ver a tus niños disfrazados, Ángel, no los
Ya,
vi.
no pudimos. O sea, no
Oh.
pudimos. Mucho
Así
trabajo.
pasan las cosas, no
Ya,
importa. No
no lo
problem.
habíamos planeado. Estamos muy ocupados en este periodo de tiempo ahora. También la Karen está haciendo mucho trabajo, no tiene tiempo casi entre la escuela y luego ahora están plantando las semillas, o sea, lo que vamos a plantar, ¿no? En el jardín, en el huerto, entonces es aquí en Canadá
Es la temporada.
es una temporada ya,
Sí.
esa temporada donde uno está un poco más ocupado que
Más presionado.
sí.
Sí.
Pero-
Saludos a tu esposa.
Sí, gracias. Bueno, saludos a todos.
Saludos, and I wish you
Saludos.
all a good Shabbat Shalom and Shushan Purim to rejoice for
Shabbat
Purim
Shalom.
and for the salvation of our people. Have a
Amen.
wonderful week. God bless you all, and we'll see you again next
Shabbat
Shabbat.
shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Get well, Isabel. Get well.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye. Shabbat Shalom.